Yo, welcome back to the channel. Really do appreciate you being here. If you are new here, hey, how you doing? My name's Chris. If you are new here and you have no idea what's going on behind me, or you've never even seen this channel before, I'm building a business that suits my lifestyle, and we've been building this business for the last 6 years. It is year number 6 from as of yesterday, and we've just started 2026. I'm excited, I'm motivated, I'm scared, I'm a little nervous because new year, you start from zero again, and it means that some big decisions have to be made to continue to grow the business. Now, if you want to come along for a ride to see something built over a long period of time, this is the channel for you. This is the content for you. But if you're here for quick wins and quick flips and things like that, this isn't the channel for you. I'm documenting this journey, one, for myself to show what I'm able to achieve over a long period of time. We've been doing that for so long already. But also I want to take you along the journey and help you see what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, the decisions I'm making, the processes I'm doing, and through the thick and thin, through the highs and lows, and through the good things and the bad things and the right decisions and the wrong decisions. And hopefully my goal here is to inspire you and motivate you to go after your own thing. Doesn't have to be business, doesn't even have to be reselling, doesn't have to be eBay, but just give you the inspiration that you can go after whatever it is that you are trying to attain. But yeah, new year, 2026. I've been away for the last 4 weeks. The team started last week. I've been away in the Philippines with Carla, and we got married again because we had a ceremony here and then we had a ceremony over there in the Philippines. And it's been great to be able to switch off. Did have a bit of a cold last week, unfortunately, but it's just been great to switch off, do a whole bunch of planning, and think about how we're taking this to the next level. And there's going to be some big changes, some big decisions. And I know that's what a lot of people say at the start of every new year and things like that. But it is a chance to reflect, a chance to reset, a chance to really do things again. Plus, we're starting from zero. All right, we've got a new year. That means we start from zero again to build up and see what we can achieve. Last year, we ended up on around $449,000 across everything within the business. That's eBay, that's whatnot, that's wholesale, that's direct to customers, and some business to business transactions. And already trying to think, how do we now take that to 500,000, 600,000 is a little scary, but I think we're capable of doing it. We have a lot of things happening, still in motion. I've got to get a whole bunch of things done today, and I'm going to take you through it all. But yeah, I've just gotten in. It is 7:15. The team's going to be here probably. I think the team's getting in around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I've got to do a whole bunch of different things. I'm just going to get myself set up, and I'm going to take you through quickly around some of the things on my mind. Some of the feedback that I got last year, if you've been following along for a while, I do document this, so I've got timestamps down below. But if you've got questions, you're more than happy to ask away. But I also ask for regular feedback if there's things that you want to see. And some of the things that people wanted to see was when I talk about bits and bobs, and sometimes I go do something and I don't necessarily get into the detail. I want to try and do a little bit better of that, help you see why I'm doing something, but how I'm also doing it as well. And also give you that value of like why I do it this way and some of the things that we need to be thinking about. Already looking around, I've just walked in, I'm just seeing where everything is at for the business, because I haven't been here for like 4 weeks. Looks like we need to replenish some stock here. We've got all of this that has to be dealt with. We still have all of this consignment stuff we're dealing with. We've got a whole bunch of stuff happening in the e-waste. I've got to do a whole bunch of work on that today. And I'm just going to get some lights on in here. We've got a whole bit of cleanup I've got to do in here as well. So a whole bunch of different things. Let me get set up, and we'll get into it. All right, time to get myself set up. And I do apologize if I do come across as a little congested. As I said, I was sick the week before traveling back, and the plane trip home really didn't help with the congestion. But look, it was a wonderful 4 weeks, and probably actually didn't do as much planning as I had thought I was going to do, but I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, it was really a plan to holiday and switch off and just enjoy the time with Carla and her family. But we're back now, straight back into it, and there's some really big decisions that have to be made this year around how do we continue to grow the business. And look, my number one goal has always been to continue to grow the business obviously there's different ways you can grow the business, simply in the basis of whether it's top line, whether it's bottom line, such as profit, but also throughput, scalability, and our ability to attract more customers and the value that we offer to our customers. So that's really, all of that is, you know, a really big component of what I'm trying to achieve this year. But it's easier said than done, right? And I'm finding there's been a huge change in shift of how everyone's operating, and that's okay, in this whole state of selling online, re-commerce, e-commerce, you know, and everyone's trying to put the spin on it around, you know, how they are giving back to the, you know, giving back to different, in terms of, you know, keeping clothing out of landfill, how they're providing that value, and, you know, just really leaning on what people want to hear. But it's, you know, I mean, they're all really good things, but it's definitely something which I think needs to be taken very carefully, just so that it's not just another sense of greenwashing, if that makes sense. So there's a few things there which I am thinking about, and making sure that we keep this, keep it where I want it to be. Anyway, I digress. So this morning, what I need to do is I've been planning on how I want to try and run my days a little bit better going into this year, and really just making sure I'm jotting down all the key things that need to be done every day for every week. And that's what I'm actually doing just right now. You probably don't know how well you can see this, but just starting to put this together right now. And you know, what is basically my focus today? So there's a couple of things that I want to achieve today, and that is, we just need to assess where everything's at, you know, see if there's any fires or anything. I don't think there is. I've been chatting with the team anyway. We've already done all the time away orders. We only had about 200. We shut down the business for 2 weeks, gave the team 2 weeks off, but that's all done. So just need to catch up with the team, see where things are at, if there's anything that needs like immediate attention. I need to catch up with the team in general and just talk about, you know, our goals, our focuses and plans for this year, and I'll be doing that today. I need to attend to one of my consignment contracts and have to go through some pricing models for them and catch up on a few things there. So I'll probably take you through that. And really the rest of it's just the layout and, you know, what's the plan and the flow for the week. I want to make sure I get that all jotted down. And of course, we're going to be doing some listings as well today. So that's really everything that I'm focusing on today. And I want to show you what that kind of looks like. Obviously, I'm not going to record conversations with the team and things like that, but helping you understand maybe some of the different things or the outcomes from those conversations, I think will be really, really valuable. So look, I'm just going to get into doing some work now before the team gets here, just so I'm on top of things. And I'll take you through a whole bunch of different stuff, but use the timestamps down below if there's things that catch your eye. If you do have any questions, more than happy to answer anything. Let's start building 2026. Let's do it. All right, so one of the things that I'm really getting on top of quickly this morning is one of my consignment customers has asked us to go through a bit of a pricing model of this new project that we're working on now. I spoke about this at the end of last year, that we're working on a new project. This new project is essentially we're working with them and another, basically a supplier, in terms they want to move certain stock, or like they want a buyer for certain technology. And because we already have the relationship, I said I'm happy to do it. And we've been testing out a few different models in terms of, like, let's say someone wants to trade in a device, and the device is worth $400. They want to understand, how much am I going to be offering? How much does post cost? What do the fees on eBay look like? How much are we taking, etc., etc. So they had questions for 5 devices. Wanting to understand, you know, what I've offered and why I'm offering it. Some of it I can't really go into the detail of talking about it, but I did want to share some level of detail. So we've got 5 different items here, and this is what's being offered. This is the average sale price of those items, the estimated fees, the post that will cost on them. That's actually probably cheaper. The profit if we do sell it for that price, and how much we will split each. Now with that, the thing that I need to consider is like, this is assuming that that's the average sale price. So I need to build in some level of, well, are we selling these at exactly market price, or are we going to sell them just below market price to be able to move them quicker for turnaround? So I've got to build this little sheet up and send this back to my customer to help them understand my thinking, why it's like this, the buffers and the caveats inside of that, because of, there's risks involved and things like that. So definitely a really key important thing to be taking into account, that because I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis, I need to really set the precedent around expectation setting. And that's really important, because if someone comes to you and say, hey, look, I can sell this camera, or I can sell this laptop, or I can sell this phone for $1,500 on eBay, because people can see it's listed, but then you go through and have to explain to them that, well, yeah, the last one sold for $1,300 or $1,250. So they're not selling at $1,500, they're selling at $1,250 or $1,250. And that was like, top grade, etc., etc. Whereas the one you've got is maybe B grade and it doesn't have this, or it's got a scratch on it. So though we might be able to sell it for, let's say, $1,000, I'm probably only going to want to give you maybe $500 for it, because I want to be able to make sure that I can, one, it is going to be as good as it says it is, but I need to make some money from it too. So helping them understand why that is important, that we do have some meat in there and a little bit of wiggle room, because some of them we'll win on, some of them we won't win on heaps. And look, it looks like the total profit is going to be around, it's probably going to be, ideally we want to keep it close to that 50%, because then we're halving it, so it gets about 25%, because I'm splitting the fee with them. But like if you were to sell something for, if I'm buying something for $200, I want to be trying to get $200 back, but it looks like that probably won't be the case. So just got to take that into account, and that's what I'm just working on this morning while it's a bit quiet. And then I'll send that out to them a little bit later and get that off and done and dusted. I've also got to send out some details around some e-waste weights and stuff. They want to see if I can do another collection this week, which I'm very excited for, because we want to get hit the ground running on that. And yeah, get on top of that. So I'm just doing this admin right now, early morning stuff. And then I've just been typing out a few different plans for how we're going to spice up a few things in the clothing space, and really see if we can uptick our processing around the different types of, I guess we're going to call it laneways of stuff we're selling. Now, right here we have a lot of consignment, like all this national storage came from one customer, and that's all 100% consignment. And then I've got other stuff, which is, stuff that I actually own, so they're my assets. So what I want to set up over here is basically have 2 lanes dedicated, which we're testing this before I went away, but 1 lane dedicated to consignment stuff, 1 lane dedicated to non-consignment stuff, and that we're always constantly ticking it over. Now, in the non-consignment stuff, the challenge comes is that I've got probably about 4 or 5 different suppliers. Now, I need to make sure that that stock coming through is well tagged, well focused, and well managed in terms of throughput. So I know this is all from one source. So when that goes through, I want it to be all consistent, all at the same time, so that we can make sure we're ticking over and recouping that money invested. Because in these bigger boxes, we've got a huge big deal that we purchased last year, and that's all the stuff up there as well. So we need to start processing that. We really need to get that moving, because we're a bit behind in the cash flow elements of recouping that, that I really want to make sure we're on top of. So that's the things I'm working on. Team's about to arrive, and then we're gonna get into it. So I'm just gonna finish this up and get continuing on with the day. All right, folks, back to it. The first, well, it's not really the first since being back, but it's the first since I'm back. We've got about 50 items. It's how many? 39 orders.
Yeah, 40 now.
40 orders. We've got lots. One person has purchased, I think, 5 or 6 items. A couple of multi-quantity in here as well. And then we've got some non-clothing items. We've got little Tiffany & Co. chain going out and a signed photograph. That's through a consignment deal. But yeah, a good bunch of different clothes and all variety. We've actually got a lot of sweaters going out, surprisingly. I mean, summer doesn't seem to exist other than a couple of random days here. So this is all going out. Dan's going to get that packed up, and the rest of the team's in, so just going to catch up with them. And oh, there's also this nice gander fleece that has sold as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right, team. It is now 11:35. I've been doing a lot of that that pricing detail with my consignment customer, and I'm about to get a call back from them as well. But in the interim, I've just been doing a lot of data crunching and analysis of what has been selling in the last 6 months, and just some of the stock changes we'll be making once we clear out a lot of the stuff that we've already got. And the way I did this is I track all my data like religiously. And what I went through in the last 6 months and found that's what was selling between 0 and 6 days, 7 and 13 days, and 14 and 20 days. And we can see that $73,000 worth of stock was selling within 0 to 6 days, so 2,000 items. And then in the first 13 days, $17,000 worth would sell, 335, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So what I'm doing is I'm now going through that data, I'm breaking it down into the detail, such as, you know, the type of item, the brand, where it came from, my suppliers, all that different stuff. And I'm actually breaking it down so I can understand, well, of these, what sold really quick within that first 21 days, and how can I get more of it? And really just seeing what I'm also number crunching around the cost base on that, the ASP based on that, etc., because I've got a couple of new suppliers that have reached out for a bit more of a handpick service. And I want to see if I can say these are the exact items I want, and if they can get them, even if it takes them 6 months to collect, let's say 200 items, and then I purchase them. So just to really keep topping up the store. So the way I've been able to do this is I track every single item that sells on eBay in a sheet, and that's our reseller spreadsheet that I use with Ethan Rushog. And I'm just doing that analysis now. I'm expecting a few phone calls, so just doing a little bit of admin. Caught up with the team. We've gone through some of the new strategies that we'll be trying over the next couple of weeks to get back into the flow. But this week it's really just, let's just get back into the flow. But then once we've done that, we'll start to implement a new lane process on our 2 clothing workstations, meaning what's going in on lane 1 and lane 2. And it's never to be exactly from the same supplier. What I mean by that is one supplier type of clothing will be going in one lane, and they will only be dedicated to that, and vice versa for the other lanes. And that way we're making sure that we're getting through all our different stock types on a regular basis and being consistent. And I can make sure I've got one having our high ASP, you know, better types of items, and then I've got the other ones which are our lower, they probably turn over a little quicker, and that we can have that going up all the time. Working with John as well, I have to reach out to him, but we'll be looking to aim to see if we can get more and more listings done on a regular basis. So want to get that up higher. We are working with some potential software as well, but that's still probably, yeah, I don't see that anytime soon, but working and triaging through that to see if that can make our lives easier too. So lots of things happening. This is the stuff I'm working on today. After lunch, I'll probably do a few other different things as well, but just trying to get this done while I'm waiting for some phone calls and before lunch. So happy days. All right, team, just been doing some more planning of next things that we need to get to here, and it's actually heated up a bit, so we've got the fan going over here. So one thing I need to tackle this week is did it finalize getting through all this. It has all been counted and processed in terms of keeping, not keeping, but we actually need to get it out of the way and just get this cleaned up. One thing that I do need to make some decisions on is sorry, a bit quirky, is these tables. They're great because they can move and things, but I feel like that's taking up a little bit of extra space that I don't really want to be taking up. So I do need to find out what I'm going to repurpose these as. I don't really want to get rid of them because long term I feel like they're going to be something that is just such a valuable asset, but at the same time they're a little bit inconvenient at the moment. So there may be something that we use to do a bit of sorting and maybe moving them down here, but of course we need to have the space for that as well. So I've got all this backlog. I've got to do a whole bunch of e-waste sorting. The stuff I didn't get to finish when I left last year, but we've got a whole bunch of Macs in here I need to go through. I need to set up a whole bunch of some of the processes that I mentioned last year. We're going to be changing with the e-waste. Now, if you're new here, we do have an e-waste side of our business as well. What that means is we work with a number of different whether it's consignments, customers, or suppliers, however you want to call it, and we process that on their behalf, working with them to avoid things going into landfill. And we've had some changes with one of them in terms of they've taken on some new opportunities, and in doing so, it meant they need some process changes, and they want us to follow a process which shows a trail of detail of what we do when we test, what we do and how we sell, and all these different things. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we do a lot of that already, but I just haven't really got it written down in a detailed process, and it's more of a probably an internal managed thing, I guess. So I need to make that more so it's extractable. So if they did decide, say, hey, can you just show us the last 10 phones you've sold or something, and they want the breakdown of that, they want to be able to see that, and I think that's fair. And being able to track that, so that's got to start to change. So I've got to start to work through that, and I might even spend some time just doing that today, or just getting a blueprint up ready to make that happen. I've been planning a lot of how we want to do that while I was away, and we got to test a bunch of that, so that's going to probably take the next 30 days. I am meant to be getting some e-waste on Wednesday, so that will be a good way to test the new process. I'll probably spend a little bit of that today and tomorrow doing it. Tomorrow it's just me, and Dion's needs to take some time off, so I'll probably just, well, depending on how I'm feeling and the weather, we'll crunch through that. The other thing is, got to clean that up, and then once we've gone through the existing clothing that's currently sitting up, we're going to start some of the new processes that we're doing with the clothing in terms of a little bit of quality control. We are going to be stricter and stronger and rougher and tougher when it comes to the quality checking of our items pre-photoing and pre-washing. And if things aren't going to hit a certain ASP, if things aren't going to sell through quickly, they're probably just going to go into another pile, whether it's we don't even bother, or it goes to whatnot, or it goes to wholesale, or it just gets redonated. And that is coming into agreement with some of my consignments as well, giving me that level of what I can and cannot sell, and having that discretion, simply because it needs to be worth my time, my team's time, and everyone's time, because if we're trying to make money for them, I want to make them as much money as possible too. So a few things there, really just spending the day getting on top of that. And a lot of this stuff is the boring stuff, but the reason why it's so important is because this stuff, like whether it's writing processes, and I'll have to take you through some of that detail, is it ensures that you have consistency across the board. It helps remove friction points, and it enables other people to take things and do it. One of the huge wins for last year was obviously hiring Dion and being able to still go away and have the team photo, list, send things live with the support of me in some areas, and also do the postage, have things done while I wasn't here. And that takes a huge amount of pressure off me, being able to rely on the team, trust the team. And this year there'll be some new pieces of that process that I'll hand over, that they'll do more of, even controlling the stock, how they manage the stock, knowing when that stock should be disbanded versus listed versus not, all those different things. It's all about knowledge equipping, and when you can equip others with knowledge, or equip yourself with knowledge, it means you can make better decisions. And if you make better decisions, you will be quicker and more efficient and more effective in your total outcomes. So that's really what I want to work on over the next 30 to 90 days with the team as well, making sure that they're getting equipped with that kind of information. We were talking about knowing when is it worth to list something if it's got a mark versus doesn't have a mark, because without a mark at excellent, it might only be worth $25, but if it's got a mark, it might only be worth 15. So maybe we just don't even list it, and doing those kind of things. So very congested at the moment. My tablet's running out, I think. So really just not trying to overdo it today, but there's a whole bunch of things on my mind that I want to get done. And keep me honest, if there's little things that you want to see in detail where I can share it, I will. So please call it out. If you don't ask, I can't share. Alright team, Dion is gone. Postage is all done as well. I forgot to show you. So we've got this bag here, and we've got this bag. It's actually been pretty quiet today, actually. All of this, so that's all done. I've now just been working through what I was talking you through about the process for, and look, it's at the moment it's just going to be a bit of a test player. Basically, intake and a ratio register, basically as stock comes in, like device categories. So we might have like laptops, iPhones, iPads. Probably can't really see that, might be a bit blurry, but basically we just got to track it from a batch ID, the brand, the model, the serial numbers, the IMEs, and then there's a whole bunch of little testing sequences that we're going to have to go through as well. So there's basically on this, look, we might not have to do all of this, but you know, we're looking at 34 different cells that we're going to have to fill out. So some of this we'll test through, identify what's required, like necessity or necessary, versus if we've got it, does it make sense? Do we not need to do it? Now, there is software that does a lot of this stuff, which we will be looking to invest in, but I need to go through, get some data points before I can have an assessment with them to work out pricing options. So, like for instance, we've got this Mac here, which is the one that came through at the end of last year. It's got like a serial on it. We've already gone through a bit of a test on it. That I can put in here and track and use that as an example. But yeah, so we've got to start with a heavy amount of data and then strip it back of what's really, really required and important. Like, I don't think we're going to need color. I'm not too fussed by color. A lot of this I just got from ChatGPT. Storage, yes, no, maybe. Source type, again, probably not necessarily, because that's probably going to be in the batch ID anyway. Source reference, probably don't need to know. Like, there's a few things that we don't need to worry about here. Like, who was it assessed by, assessment date. Again, at this point, it's going to be me. Like, when did we erase it? Who was it erased by? Proof reference. Again, a lot of this is going to be done by me. So we're really just putting together some things in place so that we've got a process to follow. I may look to be hiring to someone to do this. I've got someone that's, you know, happy to do that, come in and work on different stuff. But yeah, so that's really what I've been focusing on, just getting done. I have also done 60 listings today. So that's one thing that I want to be very, very on top of this year, is just getting on top of getting listings done. I've done a total of 62 listings actually, with a total value of $19.38. We've only sold $200 worth today actually. So that's all done. Yeah, we're way behind targets at the moment because we took time off. We're down to about 91,000 90-day total, which is obviously not where I want to be. I want to be a lot higher than that. But once we bring into like wholesale and stuff like that, we're probably sitting closer to about 112,000. So we've got a lot to rebuild, because we're sitting at only 454 for the FY. I want to get that up closer to 500, of course, but we've already done, you know, quite a bit, you know, in the last 6 months for this financial year. In terms of the year in itself, this is obviously January. We're only 12 days in, and we've done a total of 6,932. So we're down 50% to where I need to be at minimum, but ideally we need to be hitting a higher target of, I think we've got the target this year of, where's my numbers here? Our goal to do each week is think it ideally is to do, where did I put this? I think it was 9,000, a bit more than 9,000 per week. Ideally, I would like to get a payout of about $7,000 every week from eBay, and that gets us landing on about 364,000 in payouts, but that's after fees. So, you know, it's probably closer to that, yeah, 450 to 500,000. I think, is that the right math? Hang on, I think that's wrong. I haven't actually finished doing all this math here. Payout should be, actually the payout we want to be getting each week is about 8,173. Ideally, that's what we want to be working towards. The 7,000 I think is from my template last year. So I've just been allocating, you know, all our, basically these are all just been running some scenarios of when money comes in, how much goes to owners pay, how much goes to reserves or profit, OPEX, tax, boost, and staff and consignments and things like that. So really just doing a lot of the business admin stuff kind of today. And tomorrow I'm going to be here all by myself. So there's a few other things I'll work on, and setting up a few new processes and a few new things just to, one of my goals is to obviously get more off me, and two is giving them, my team, more power and the ability to be able to just do and throughput and just seamless integration of being able to make decisions or have the knowledge how to make the decisions so that our throughput naturally increases. So yeah, I'm going to charge off. All right, showing you all behind the scenes today. So another thing that we do at the end of every single day, so it's now 4 o'clock, so I'm probably not going to be sending anything else now, is we input the total items sold and the total expenditure on postage. And what this creates, we've been doing this, we've been doing this since the start of 2024. And what it does is it helps us understand what our average cost to us is for postage. Now, if you see here, we've been doing this for a while. For the first year of 2024 going into 2025, and now obviously we're in 2026, basically all of 2024 we were spending on average about $11 per item, and that was also because we were sending only usually one item per order. Now we send about 1.6 per order, and it was probably about 1.3, well probably, actually no, it was probably 1.6 in 2025, and it started to drop. And then they released recently, around here I think it was, they released the extra small padded mailers, and that's why we've been able to see this stay pretty consistent down. Obviously January we're down heaps simply because we haven't sold as much, and what we have sold has been like just a lot of shorts and dresses, so they are going in those extra smalls, and a lot of it's been Victoria as well. So nice little thing to be doing to track data, and really important because it helps you know your numbers. So the way I get this information is I just go to the transactions that I've done in my Australia post, just export them out, and then I just get my total quantity sold, not total orders, and then I just do the division of the two, and that gets us our average. So nice little sneak peek nice little trick to do on a regular basis to give you a sneak peek of basically how much you're spending per item on average. And it just helps then do the planning for the next months and the next months and the quarters and the 6 months in advance of knowing like, okay, well, when I buy an item on average at the moment, if I was to look at my running data for the last, if I look at my running data for the last, let's just say December to July, my average is $9.55, which means I should just say in my head that, if I just allocate $10, knowing that's how much it's going to cost me to post something on average, it means when I'm putting my calculation of if I buy something for $10, it's going to cost me $10 to, post it. There's fees of 15%. Well, how much do I need to be selling it to make a viable profit? So just a little handy little tip and trick that maybe can work for you. All right, team, that is a wrap for the day. Day number 1 back. Pretty solid effort, really. I can't really complain. Happy with the team. We've just been discussing a few more things that will change over here. Just with, we are changing up how we're skewing things a little bit. So there's an internal SKU number, and then there's obviously the custom SKU number. I can talk about that when we do it, because it's just an important thing of helping me get on top. We've got 5,500 items in these boxes, and the idea is weekly I want to be seeing how much that drops down. So that's why it's really important to have that internal SKU number, so we can start tracking and tracing of how much is going through, how much is selling. And like for instance, this consignment deal that we did, I think we did, I could be wrong, I'm just going from memory, around $3,000 in revenue for them for the first month. So that's really great, and I want to be able to see that for the other things that we need to do, because we need to ramp up, we need to get through it. So yeah, spent some time with John today as well, just talking about some of the things and how do we get from 60 to 75 to 100 listings a day. And yeah, I've got to get out of here. It's 4:32. I feel like crap, need a rest. I've been doing too much work today, and I haven't been doing work for 4 weeks. So we're back here again tomorrow, folks, doing it all again. It'll just be me, so probably do a few different things tomorrow, take you along for the journey. Yeah, let's do it. Ciao. And Tuesday it was. All right, team, it's just me today. It's 7:30, just a little bit later than normal, but number of different things that I have on my to-do list. Now, whether they get done today is another conversation. We have a big goal here that needs to happen, is cleaning up all of this. There's a lot of sorted, well, half semi-sorted clothes. Basically, stuff has been counted, it's been paid for. Some of it is to go back, some jackets and stuff, but we do need to process this. I need to do a cleanup over here as well, at least just a sort of some things. However, I am getting some e-waste on Wednesday, so maybe I can, do a batch of that on the same time. I need to figure out what I'm doing with these tables. That's not really going to happen probably this week, but knowing that I'm going to be upskilling the team around the decision making in when we sort some of these boxes. So we don't actually need to use those tables for these boxes. We've got all these tables here while we've got space, so that's on my mind as well. There's a few other things which need to happen. We've got these that need to be sorted. We've actually got some backlog of old stock that I want to also get into, which is out the back over here. We've got a couple of bales that we need to process. That's either going to happen today or tomorrow as well, because they will go straight out to washing as well. We've got all this. We've got the north face in those boxes. Also, that's because that's the stuff that we're going to be pushing into washing in the first round, which will happen in the probably next week, I'm thinking. So that's that. As I said yesterday, we started to just document the bit of the process for the e-waste. So I do want to get all this cleaned up, better sorted, because there's going to be a lot more of a workstation opposed to just a charge station. That needs to happen. As I said, I need to sort some of this as well. Yeah, that's really the main things. There's also, I've got to get back on top of the wire stuff. That's on my to-do list. So there's a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. I've got a whole bunch of stock that we pulled out that needs to be sorted. So yeah, lots of things happening. I've got to finish my listings. I did 22 before I came here, and I've just gotten in. So the other thing I've got to do is I've got to do the postage today, because it's just me. So I will be doing that, and I'll take you through that postage too, show you what we've got, what's going out, what's been selling. It's having taken some time away, we did drop down, but if you're here for some numbers and all that kind of stuff, happy to share it. So we're back down to 91,100, so we dropped about 15,000 while I was away. We've only got 10 orders to go out. It's about 16 items, I think it is. We do have a couple of offers on some things as well, which I need to process this morning. But I don't know, the sales and everything seems to be a little bit all over the place. Sunday night I think we did like 1,200. And then last couple of days have been pretty dead. So I know, it's just swings and roundabouts, but we're just going to keep listing, keep charging on. And the good thing is I've gotten working with John to get things processed pretty quickly. So all the stuff we photoed yesterday, except for 12 items. So I think there was 80 items that came through yesterday. John's already listed those, so I will be processing them today, like finalizing those today. Yeah, let's get to it. I do have some breakfast here with me as well, so I'm going to get that prepped. I'll finish off the listings, and then we'll dive into the day. And of course, I'll bring you along for the journey. Let's do it. All right, listings are done. It's 8:18. We've done 73 listings, and we've listed a total of 2,351. So not huge value today, but so about $32 ASP, not including postage. And we have that majority of that is through one of our consignment clothing groups. So that's why we have a agreement that we will have all that listed probably by, I think it's by March, which we're on track to do. So that's done. I'm now going to do some postage, so we're going to do a pick, pack and post. I'll bring you along for the ride, show you what we've got. What I'll probably do is, maybe what I'll do is I'll do this component here, and might do a short reel somewhere else as well, and showing you guys what we've got. Anyway, let's just get started. All right, let's pick some orders. Not much, but some honest work here. Let's do this. Number one is 21,944. All right, we've got a Carhartt sweater. All right, next is 22,061. Boom. Next up is 24,773, just a pair of joggers. Next up is a little vintage army tee, 18,387. All right, next up is we have a combined order. We've got a couple of Tommy Hilfiger shirts, 21,520, number 10,249. So this one, a customer purchased something. There was something wrong with the order. They asked for $5 discount. Fair enough. And then they came back and bought 2 Tommy tees. I'm happy with that. Next up is a little Showpo playsuit romper. This is 13,787. Boom. Next up, we have a combined order of some shoes, a little Polo Ralph, and a couple of other tees. Let's get it. Not too bad. All right, let's go pack some orders. So we use Starship It. If you haven't used Starship It before, it is a very, very comprehensive, simple, seamless, and very automated shipping tool. Now, I would only recommend if you're probably doing 100 orders a month, probably actually 100 orders, probably 200 orders a month, to be honest. It probably starts to make it worth it. However, if you do want to test it out, you can sign up, use my referral code, and you get 2 months for free. You can test it all out, try all the different bits and bobs. And if it works for you, you can continue on. If it doesn't, well, then no harm done. But it's really good at merging things. You can automate it to automatically pick the satchels, the sizes, and all that. Saves us probably 72% in terms of prior using it to now using it. And Dion uses it himself. It's really quick and easy. You just do a quick little import. I can't obviously show you because it's got people's names and stuff here, but that's all the orders. It's already put them into the different satchel sizes. Some of that I will have to modify because the size, the account, the subscription that I use for this service only gives you a certain amount of automations, and I've just prioritized to only having about 2 or 3. Anyway, let's pack some orders. All right, postage is done. All right, now that that's all done, I have also been trying to challenge myself to do some more short form content. So I've just filmed doing that as well on the phone. So I'm actually going to go quickly edit that and upload that now. And then I'm going to have to make a tough decision of, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do a little bit of something else? I'm not sure. Probably really should be doing this. It's probably what I'm going to land on doing. And I'll talk about why I make that decision later. I'm going to edit this stuff and then get back to it. All right, uploaded a little short form video on shorts and reels just to get some additional little content out for you guys. We're going to tackle this. We're going to do it. We just got to get it done. So I'll tackle this, and probably after lunch we'll probably do some more e-waste stuff as well. So tomorrow we'll be doing a bit more of sorting of clothing in here, and I think tomorrow I'll probably do the BALE. We'll see how productive we are today. Now the reason why I'm doing this today is because I want to make some space. I want to keep space as best as possible this year. We'll see how long that lasts. But no, there's just some some just sitting opportunity right here. So this is probably the best, quickest win. And then after that is the e-waste. However, the e-waste, the reason why I'm not prioritizing the e-waste, even though I've got like, there's probably a couple of $100 right here. The reason why is because I'm getting more, I'm going to have to be sorting, cleaning, testing, all that stuff anyway later this week. So I may as well just batch it with the same stuff in case I get more of it. So not too concerned by that, but this is the bad boy we've got to do. So let's do it. We are making progress. We've made up a whole bunch of washing bags. I'm still sorting through it all. We should be done pretty soon. All right, the boxes are done except for the jackets. What we've been doing is we've been putting them into washing bags the first round. This last couple of boxes we did, I've basically put them into good to keep, but still got to do the wash check. And I've also been making a whatnot pile, just stuff it's probably just not worth it for us to list, but I also add in a few little surprises into those whatnot bundles. So chucked in a couple of Kathmandu things as well, because I don't want it just to be cheap and nasty. It's really just stuff that maybe we'll get $15 for and whatnot, whereas to list it for $15 on eBay, by the time we've potentially washed it or paid the listers and the photographers, it's really just not worth it. So I do make up those whatnot deals as well, which we'll have a show coming up soon enough once I get my voice back a bit more. Other than that, I do have a question. If anyone's interested in jackets, I've got a big bunch of jackets and it's all modern. Oh, maybe there's a couple of vintage old stuff, but if someone really loves selling jackets, reach out to me, let me know, because I probably do have an excess amount that I'm happy to just move. I haven't, it's not stuff that's listed, it's stuff that I haven't listed yet, and I'm just trying to get through the mass of bulk opposed to spending the time on the jackets, because for the team to do the jackets, they could probably do 2 or 3 other items. So I'm just really trying to get ahead on that. And if I can wholesale them off or quickly move them, then, it could be a good opportunity for you. So you let me know. All right, I'm going to keep going. All right, that's all done. We've got 9 bags of washing. I didn't realize it was going to be that much from it. So I'm going to get that picked up on Thursday. And that will mean hopefully by Monday, when it comes back, this table will be done. And we'll have a table to put it all onto. Some of this will be done, and we'll be kicking off the new process with that. And then next week, maybe even Monday, I might send off some of the other stuff, and we can start to kick that process off. So starting to get full into it. Wasn't going to send washing out this early, but now that I've cleaned it up and it did come back as quite a lot of items, it's probably about 100 items in there maybe. Well, then we'll get that sent out and get it back to us early next week. So that's done. I'm just going to do a quick little cleanup here. I think I've got my dad coming later. He's going to pop in, but I'll try and get all this done, cleaned up, and then we're almost lunchtime. I mean, it's only, actually it's not, oh yeah, it's 11:30, so it's almost lunchtime, and then I think this afternoon, move on to the next task. That's really what we're going to keep doing. This is stuff that was newer tags or couldn't be washed, like it's leather and stuff. There is one shirt in there that one jacket in there I need to check because I think it's soiled. Other than that, I want to do a bit of a clean up here, and I really need to clean up over there as well. So 2 things that got really on my priority is this side and this side now. As I said, the e-waste stuff, not really going to focus on listing it because I'm going to be getting more tomorrow, so I may as just kind of do that in a batch on Thursday. Over here, we do have some stuff that needs to be processed. Where are we? Yeah, there's a couple of bales down the back there, so I've also got to go back and clean through all this. And tomorrow, as I said, I think I said it earlier, that I'm going to be taking through one of my photographers how to sort through this and some of the decision-making process, so we can get that started to trickle through, and start to work our way through that 5,500 backlog of listings, because we've got a lot, and as much as I'm always buying more stock, I don't want to buy any more stock. A good deal comes along, I always will buy it, but I also want to make sure we're smashing through this stuff because we've got heaps here. But the thing with some of this, it's low end, like it's 25, 30 bucks. The high end stuff is what I really I'll be buying more of, like just to keep the store stocked up with the stuff that we like to sell. Like we're going to be listing all the sweaters, all the North Face that's in there, and things like that. So, and I've got a whole bunch of branded pants that we'll get through. I still need to start to get through the other boxes from my other supplier, and we'll probably start that in the next couple of weeks because I've got to categorize that into different types. So still lots of things happening, as you can hear and tell. I've got my laptop guy coming later in the week as well. Hopefully we'll get some laptops and back in full force, I think. Just fully not recovered. You can still hear it in my croaky voice, but we're almost there. All right. Gives a bit more space. E-waste is coming tomorrow, so I'm going to need all this space anyway. We're also getting 2 media bins, I believe, as well. So I'm I'm going to shuffle a few more things. The other thing we still need to do is I need to spend some good time doing some wire. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow and do a GetWired podcast. And then, yeah, I'm thinking this afternoon I'm just really going to tap into all this. I want to make sure I'm ready to commit for it. That is the key thing. In terms of sense of urgency, I mean, there is a whole bunch of stuff in there I need to sort as well. I might get to that. Really just trying to make the most of that before we get back into full capacity in the next 1 or 2 weeks. So I think that's going to be it. I do probably need to do a cardboard run, get rid of a whole bunch of cardboard. I've got a backlog of e-waste there as well that I need to list. I'm really just talking my mind at this point, just working through what I've got to decide to do. I'm going to have some lunch in a second, but I think that's the main stuff. There is some washing that needs to go out there, but that's from a different lot, and we've got to, like I said, we're isolating washing to set SKUs and suppliers to making sure that we can we don't cross list, I mean like mix match and cross over the different stuff that we're listing at the same time. All right, I'm gonna have some lunch and then I'll figure out what we're doing next. All right, we're back to doing some e-waste stuff. Now, one question I did get at the end of last year, and I apologize who it was, stating that, you know, sometimes I refer to things that, oh, I'm working on this, and, you know, I'm not really getting into the detail of the bits and bobs and stuff. Well, I want to try and do better by that. Sometimes, you know, like we were doing all this clothing sorting, I just gone through it, skipped it, get it done. Otherwise, the video will be forever. But I think where I can articulate or walk you through or give you some better detail of things, maybe I don't show you all the detail because it might take a while, that might help. So I'm doing some e-waste stuff. I've just been making a pile of hi-fi units, VCRs, DVD players, Blu-rays. I have a buyer for this, so just getting that sorted. We had this network system that was left over from last year. All I've done is I've just opened it up just to have a look inside, see if there's anything that looks wrong. Nothing looks wrong. And then what I'm about to do is I'm going to plug it in, see if it turns on. That is all the testing I'm going to do. I'm going to list it for probably $80 untested. Someone will probably send an offer for $40, and then I'll probably have about $20 postage on it. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to get that done now, and I'll probably get it listed today as well. And I'm just working my way through cleaning up some of the things here of basically going through the process of, will it be worth to sell? Should I just put it back through the cycle? Or can I wholesale it? Basically, that's the 3 options. So I'm doing that with some stuff in here. And then I'm going to slowly start to clean this up a little bit, get some space because we're going to be using this a fair bit. I've got to clean up some old boxes and tubs and go through some old things down here. I've got a fair bit to do. So that's what I'm going to work on and see how long it takes. All right, we're making good progress here. I've actually just had a phone call from one of my consignments just with this whole pricing thing that I did at the start of the week, and they just want to jump onto a call. So I'm actually going to do that right now and just get this out of the way. And yeah, then that'll probably go for the next 30 minutes or an hour or so, and then we will get back to it. But it's all real time at the moment. Still a bit croaky, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. All right, team, I'm going to jump into this call and get it done. All right, there we go. It's 2:46 and that meeting is done. So again, I'm trying to be as transparent, help people understand, because I know a lot of people ask, what do I even do? Like, I'm having these calls and stuff. So that call, essentially I was meeting with my consignee, the people that I'm working with, that I'm contracted with, and we were talking about pricing models around basically some of it I can't, I'm covered, you know, under a, you know, not really allowed to say certain things, but basically they're selling to me. I'm buying stuff on the behalf of someone else that is their customer. And, you know, I'll use an example. Let's say it's a laptop, let's say it's a camera, let's say it's a phone, let's say it's any device. And basically they can trade it in and they can say, oh, this is what I've got, this is what I class it as, excellent, good, bad, whatever. And based on that, we provide I guess a boilerplate price. And, you know, it could be, you know, basically 25% of the value or 30% of the value or 75% of the value, depending on what the category is, etc., etc. Now, on that basis, we've had quite a few trade-ins come through, and we've done the pricing on it, and they haven't liked the pricing we've provided them. And they think it's too low. And some of the feedback was because they've looked at eBay and they've looked at, they've seen something for $900, but we're offering them $200. And they're confused, well, why aren't you giving me like $700? And this comes back to the usual basis of like, well, they're looking at, what's listed and what's sold. And, we've gone through the back and forth, and I said, well, let's say that camera actually is only selling for about $400. And we've offered them, I can't remember what it was $150 or $200, which is still quite generous. But it was in excellent condition and all these different things. And, they're still umming and ahhing about it because they're not understanding that we're actually buying it at the price, literally what they would be getting probably after they've processed it themselves on eBay. We're making a little bit of profit, which we need to, because we're doing the service, we're doing the process, we're handling it all. So we've been working through that and helping. I'm there helping them understand my thought process, how I get the data, how I research it, why I came to that conclusion, where did I find them at that price, helping educate that. And this is something that I've had to do from day one, not just with this situation. This is obviously more of a commercial agreement, so it's a little bit more sensitive. But I remember having conversations with people that wanted to do consignment jobs with me, and I said, I take 50% after everything. And they said, oh, that's a bit steep. And I said, well, or I can just buy you out right now at 25%. And they're like, that's ridiculous. And then I walked them through the difference. And if we were to do the 50-50, it takes 90 days maybe to sell everything. And yeah, sure, they make, maybe over the long term, they make $200 more. But if I buy it off them today, they make $200 less, but they have the cash today kind of thing. And they're not really losing out, but I think because, it's a new process. This is not something which they've done before, and we're trialing it and testing it. So, and there's a lot of this stuff. It's like when you try and sell something, if you went to Cash Converters and you say, I've got a laptop and you paid $2,000 for it, and you take it in and they say, oh, we'll give you $400 for it. And you're like, crap. And you're like, yeah, but you're selling it for $1,000 in your window. It's like, yeah, we are. And that's because they're taking the liability of it. They've got to provide warranty or all that. And they have to deal with the customers. They then have to sell it. Then there's going to be fees or whatever. So that is what we've been doing for the last 45 minutes, just discussing through that. And that's why some of these meetings and some of these things take a lot of time, because that's more of a commercial one. If this was just with some random, that reached out, it's a lot easier conversation. But because of this, there's a lot more people involved. And I'm operating as a silent partner, and that's why it's a bit more, I guess it's a bit more tippy-toey around, like we're walking on a bit more shattered glass almost, because we want to, make everyone happy. We want the end consumer to be happy. We want their customer to be happy. Well, I want them to be happy, but I need to be happy too, because I'm buying it. I'm taking the risk. So yeah, that's what we've been dealing with. So it's now 2:50. We've had a whole bunch of more orders come through, so I'm probably going to just process them now, and just before it gets too late. And I haven't really got to finish all this yet, but I'll probably end up starting on doing more of this tomorrow. So I'm going to just go back, get this postage done. I'll show you what we've got. There's probably been another 10 items, I think, so not too bad. And I've got to send another item out to someone. There was an accidental, we sent the wrong item to someone, just grabbed the wrong item, and just get that switched out. So I'm going to go do that. Let's do it. All right, let's get these items out. I'm not going to show you one by one, but I will show you when I'm back over there. So I've got another 11 items going out. Sweet. All right, I'm going to get these out, and then I'll show you a few things. By the way, who was using SENDLE? Who got the email about SENDLE is no longer operating? That was a big surprise. It just means Australia Post dominates even more in this case, but I never used SENDLE, but I know I've heard some horror stories of someone that had 112 orders booked to go out Monday morning with SENDLE, and they got the email saying they will not be picking them up, and they're struggling to get refunds and everything like that. So it's just brutal, absolutely brutal. Crazy times. All Alright, so we've got 11 more items, mainly clothes. We did sell some Dungeons and Dragons little figures. We did actually sell a gem book as well. But we did sell this, which is pretty cool. This one for about 75 bucks. A nice Nike ACG sweater. We sold a couple of pair of Levi's, Ralph Lauren shirt, which is just our standard bread and butter. And a couple of women's smaller things like Atmos in here and just a little tank blouse. Yeah, just bread and butter kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Let me just log in. And I'll show you what we've got happening over here. Yeah, so 11 items. See what we can show here without giving it away. There you go, gives you a bit of an idea. Not too bad. Let's pack it up. All right, second batch of postage is done. So we post in the morning and we post once, usually in the afternoon. Dion sometimes does it 3 times just to take a break. It also depends on how much we have. So we try and just do same day handling, but we offer 1 day handling. So continuously trying to deliver above and beyond. I'm gonna get back into setting up this shelving, this workstation over here, getting it cleaned up. I think we've done pretty well today. I mean, I haven't gotten into all this, but to have this clean, it means we can start to test out some of the new processes. Really, this week, my focus is getting things back on, just getting back on top of things, like organized, ready, motivated, planned, and ready to execute. Next week, we will probably be back in full steam, I think. Dion may have to take a couple more days off, which 100% fine. So we will just, if he's in, we'll be at full force. If he's not in, well, it doesn't really matter. We'll still be at full force, just with a couple of days less with him in. So washing is done. I'll do that. So tomorrow, what I think I'll do is I will do probably a BALE opening. So we can get that ready. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Thursday. We need to have that ready to go out on Monday. And then probably Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll probably end up doing some North Face to go out for washing. And that means basically we're going to be in full force of the idea. I think I explained it, maybe I didn't. The idea is we're going to have one single supplier going through one lane at single time. What I mean by supplier is, so like this stuff on racks, this is my consignment supplier. So I don't want these 2 lanes operating on the same type of stock at the same time. So if someone's working here, they can be doing the stuff from that consignment, but they need to be doing from a different supplier. If we finish all the consignment stuff, this will be a different supplier, It's only if we finish one of the supplier's stock, because at the moment, I have my consignment supplier, I have this supplier, which is the big boxes over there. That's from the big 4,500 piece deal. I've got this deal, which we haven't started to go through, and then I've got the stuff in the IKEA bags at the moment, and then I've still got this and the 2 bales at the back there. So that's why we've got about a backlog of 5,500 items. At the moment, we're listing, I'm being pretty good, we're doing about 70 a day. So if we just do some quick little math, if we were doing 70 a day, to get through all of this, let's just say 5.5 divided by 70, we will be done in 78 days. In 78 days. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It could possibly be. If we can do that in 78 days, it means in the first quarter, we're going to be listing over 5,500 items. I'm pretty motivated by that. If we can do that, we will be in a very, 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 very good position. So we're going to be working hard. I've got John ready to ramp up. We're going to be pulling those down from up there. It's going to be great. But I think it will take a little bit longer than that. We might have a few delays, etc., which is okay. And that doesn't include any of the e-waste, any of the electronics, any of the other stuff, non-clothing stuff that I'm trying to photo and list at the same time. I want to make sure I'm prioritizing, and I do apologize walking around, that's just the way I think. I do want to prioritize having the team photo, but also equipping them with the ability to be able to enable them to photo, meaning getting more stock out, knowing what needs to get washed first and all those priorities. So really trying to get more off me, because I'm pretty tied up with some new business planning, and there's a lot of new opportunities that I'm working on for this year as well, but that's going to happen probably in Q2. yeah, so just really want to make sure I'm getting everything down to the dot here. My priority is getting this new e-waste stuff happening the right way, because we've had to change all the processes that I've been explaining about. So that is my #1 priority. Oh, I need to do the wire as well. Anyway, lots of things. Let's get back to the workstation. All right, I think we almost got it done, guys. It's I've got to get another mount for this screen because I want to get it off, but for now I've just got it there because ideally I'll be wanting to take photos here and stuff, so got to spice that up. This I need to change. Just got to figure out how it's going to change. At the moment, for now, at least I can do work here. We've got all those MacBooks that we'll be able to work through, and then obviously I'm getting more coming this week. We've still got all the backlog of phones and things to be testing in here, so we'll be able to test new processes with all that. Yeah, I've also got a nice little computer that's going to be part of this little station here. I'm getting that this week as well from my laptop guy. That's to help us do some new little side gigs with some hard drives and stuff. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I've got to just sort this stuff out as well, but yeah, just got to figure out what to do here. Ideally, I want to actually get something that I can put along there, maybe a pegboard or something. Just, I don't know. Iteration 2. This is iteration 1 originally from before. This is iteration 2. We're going to constantly keep changing it to get it better, as long as it takes. Another thing that I have to add to my to-do list is continue to sort all this crap and that crap. There's a lot of stuff in there, but yeah, I mean, we're almost done for the day, really. Maybe I'll just do some wire cutting or something. I got to go respond to an email, but don't really want to commit to anything else, start anything else now. It's 4 o'clock. I'll usually leave here about 4:30, so we'll do a little bit more dilly-dallying, maybe shuffle a few things more here. But tomorrow we'll be back anyway. I'm not finished yet here, so I'll have another chat to you before I go. But I think tomorrow for my little shorts, I'm either going to show something about over in this workstation. Maybe I'll show some of the clothes we're doing. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have a think. If you've got ideas of shorts that you want to see that go for like just a quick, 1 minute or something, let me know, because I'm going to be doing these daily as well. So, yeah. All right, team. That is a wrap. We are out of here. Pretty good day, actually. All things considered, nice little progress. We've gotten a few things done, things that I want to get done, and I've actually just found myself very, very excited, because if we can get this process happening, just get back into the flow and stick to our guns, may get myself into the position where I want to be. But there's always a difference between talk and action and ideas and plan and execution and all these things coming to life. But we'll see. All right, team, I'm going to get out of here. I will be back here tomorrow and we'll be doing it all again. Ciao. Oh, hey there. It's Wednesday. We're back. All right. I was just looking for something, and I figured I might even give you a little surprise and say boo. All right. So just got in. It's 7:08. Was just checking something to make sure. You know how I don't know if you've ever had this feeling. If you're a seller, you probably would there, where you sell something and you just know that item, I feel like we've already sold it, or there's been some history with it, or it was a return, and it was just one of those moments. So I was just doing that, and I thought I'd just go and give you a little surprise. Anyway, Wednesday morning, it's myself here today. I do have another photographer in. They're going to be focusing on more of this consignment stuff, and I'll be teaching them a bit of I was almost going to say the way of the water avatar style, but no, what I mean is I'm going to be teaching them of how we go through and make the decisions around some of this stuff, of like whether it's worth photoing, worth not, etc., etc. I need to continue on with this e-waste stuff, get this sorted. I've got e-waste coming this afternoon, so I need to pull this out and just get that ready to be wrapped. I might even do some testing of some stuff today, show a little bit of that as well. I've got to do my listings this morning. I'm going to have to do the pick, pack, and post. I may even get into the bale of pants that I was talking to you about the other day as well. Do that today. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing e-waste. So I probably will do that today. But they do need to go into bags, washing bags. So I need to make sure I don't create too much of a mess. And I've got to do some more short form content. Oh, it looks like... Oh no, I thought the power had been out, but looks like the microwave was just flashing. So yeah, another full day. If you are new here, usually on Wednesdays I actually volunteer, but we're just back from being away for the last 4 weeks. So I'll probably resume that in the coming couple of weeks. For now, it's just focusing on getting the business back to where it is. Still need to do a big cleanup in here as well. So that's really my focus. This stuff has to get put onto racks for whatnot. I'll probably have someone help with that this week as well. And I might even do, right now, I might just time box 20 minutes, 30 minutes and do a GetWired episode. GetWired podcast, basically sit down, cut some wire, we talk business. Might do that now as well, just to start to hash through this stuff, because we've probably got about 200 kilos of wire. And if I can get that processed and sold, it's probably about $500. So it's definitely worth doing. I just got to get back on top of it. So let me get sorted, set up, and I'll show you what we're doing first. All right, team, so I just finished doing a GetWired podcast. Just been cutting this wire. It's so good to finally get back into this. I'm actually now going to just go do my listings, get that done, and I'm going to aim to do 60. That would be the goal today. Get that done. Shouldn't take too long. We've already got a bit of a backlog there, and I will get that done before the team's in. I'm just going to open the front door. It's been stuffy in here. We've had some hot days, and the warehouse hasn't really cooled down, so it's a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go do the listings, and then we'll probably get into the post as well, take you through some of those numbers, and still haven't figured out what I'm going to share as my short content today yet, but I'm thinking about that at the same time. So let's get these listings done. Shouldn't take too long. Can't really show you too much of this, but I basically just sit here. Actually, I want to show you how I actually do my listings just quickly. So if you're not sure, basically I have a VA in the Philippines. John, he's my lister. We also have a business together called Pro List Assist, where we list for other people as well. Now, what he does is he goes through, he drafts everything, he prices everything, he reviews everything, and he puts them into like this format. So it's, here's all my drafts, they're all here. Basically what I do through is I go through and I select 60 of these, and then I edit them. I'll just do a couple here. So if I pull this, I'll just go resume drafts. I put them into this process here, so I can see a high level view of them, see if there's any issues, so I can fix that. I can see a very high level view of like what the condition is of them, what's the price of them, our auto accepts. And basically I don't go through and review every one anymore. I basically just take a hand pick. If there's anything here that seems a bit wrong or not right, I might check the new of tag ones. I might check the pricing of a few. I basically just hand pick a subset and review it, make sure it's all good. If it's all good, then I just send it live. And basically we do 60 listings in probably about 15 minutes, really, after doing the review and doing all the checks. So that it doesn't take that long, really. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm still finding there's a few issues with the country of origin, because we update it, but then it seems to be disappearing as well. That's been a very consistent issue, which I haven't solved for yet. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and we'll get back to it, folks. Now, I track all of my listings. I track it in my spreadsheet. And the quick way that I do this, I do all my listings, and once I've done, whether it's in that batch or the day, I basically go into my download section under reports, and I go download report, and then I select report. I go listings, report type, all active listings, and then I download that as a CSV, and then I just copy and paste the data into my Google Sheet, and I've got the stuff that I need. So that's like the title, the price, the SKU, and then I just update a couple of other internal stuff like the category and things like that. And then I've got all that documented, and I've got it all in my main sheet, and that's how I'm able to get such great data analysis on everything that I sell, is because I capture everything. I track it by hook. It takes a little bit more time, but for me, I feel like the time's really worth it, because in the end, I'm able to make some really great decisions. I can review things, and I've got very good clarity of stuff. So as you can see here, it's all here. See? Happy days. So that's all done now. I will probably do some more listings a little bit later because I'll probably get some of the e-waste stuff done, so I want to get that done too. But I'm going to copy this across and yeah, move on to the next task. All right, it's time to do some postage. I will probably be doing a bale or two opening today as well. But postage first. Let's get the chores done before we have some fun. Photographer's going to be here at 9. They'll get started. Yeah, good little start to the day. Once I've done that, because I'm going to film the bale for the short form content. The other thing that probably then work on is, I guess, stuff over here. Just continue to work through this. That's pretty much it today, and then really just do the needful. Do the needful. Who knows? There could be a few surprises that pop up today. But let's do a pick, pack and post. Let's see what we're dealing with today. We haven't had that many sales. It's been pretty quiet. Like, I'm not too concerned by it because we have all year to get this back into the group, but we've got 9 orders. It's probably about 11 items. In terms of where we're at with a 90-day total, like since being away, we dropped 15K. We're at 91,000. So my current goal at the moment is to get that back up to 100,000, just to get the cash flow back and yeah, charge on from there. So let's do a pick, pack and post and see what we've got. I'm not going to pull out everything here and show you that. I did all that yesterday because Dion's not in today, so he's not doing it, so I'm doing it. But I'll show you over there what we end up sending through. Maybe I'll show you a few items, some fun things, or just give you some details about them. All right, nothing crazy going on. We do have this radio that we've had forever. Someone sent a lowball offer and I accepted it. It's been there for, geez, probably had that for 2 years. We've got some shoes. Someone has purchased a couple of vintage Adidas pieces. Got some Ralph Lauren going out, some Lorna Jane leggings, and yeah, an old SKU from like 11,000. So we're up to 22,000. So that's probably a year ago. Yeah, not really much. Slim picking. So all we can really do at this point is just photo list, photo list, photo list, and start to put up some of the high-end stuff as well. That's all we can really do at the moment. All right, I'm going to pack all this up and then get done. All right, team, postage is done. We've got photos happening. I'm now going to probably actually just going to get straight into this so it's all done, and then we can process that later. I'm probably just going to put it on these 2 tables. Easy enough because, well, there's 2 tables here. Yeah, let's get into that. Alright team, we're getting into this. I'm actually filming it on a short film as well and on a reel, so if you want to go check that out, you can. I'll show you at the end what we end up with, but this is just basically branded pants. We've got Polo, we've got plenty of Tommy, we've got Levi's, probably a few other things in between. Let's do it. Alright team, we're not halfway, but we've finished getting it all out. I put it into colors first. Now I'm actually going through each individual item, getting it counted, and folding them, checking pockets, checking zips before they can go into washing bags. So I'm going to get all of this done today. There's probably going to be, it's probably going to be about 120, 150 items, I think, give or take. So yeah. All right, team, all done. We've got them all into the colors and into their, yeah, I guess it's just really just colors. They've all been checked pockets, and they've all been checked for zips. There was only probably about 2 or 3. I think 2 were missing buttons and 1 was had a hole in it. Not too bad, nothing too crazy. There was a total of 174, so a bit better than I expected actually. And that's probably because they're lighter than jeans. Usually in jeans we get, with 2 bales, usually it's about 130 pieces. So yeah, this was way better actually, which is good because pretty low cost on these ones. ASP on this will probably be about $45 per piece. So yeah, there's a good amount of dollary doos there. Of course, got to now wash them, got to photo them, then we've got to list them, and we've got to sell them. So it's not as simple as like we've just made all the money. But yeah, happy with this. So these will go out next week. It might have to go across two rounds, but that's okay. Very happy with this success. All right, team, had some lunch. I had a phone call with that thing that we've been doing yesterday as well. We did start to go through some more of these boxes. I've been working with the team to just go through that, and they did a test run of, pulling out the items, assessing them, whether it's good, worth doing, spending our time on. These won't get packaged up till later in the week because washing's getting picked up tomorrow anyway. So that's not going to go out till Monday, but it's now done, so one less thing to worry about. I think now, being 114, my plan is to continue to just do some stuff here. And I've got to get this pallet ready to be picked up. That's coming probably, I reckon it'll come around 4:30 maybe. And apparently we're getting 2 more media bins and 1 big pallet of stock. So I'm pretty excited for that. So I just want to get all this cleaned up, ready for that. And I might try and do some quick win listings over here as well. So let's do it. All right, team, just been starting to look at some of these laptops that are just here, just couldn't help myself. So I've just opened up one of these Macs. This is a A1466. It's a MacBook Air. And basically, I've turned it on, it showed that it didn't have a hard drive. So beauty of that is there's no data on this, which means we can sell it for parts, and we can sell it for parts only. I will still be tracing this with the serial and things like that just for coverage, but the beauty of this is it makes it very simple to know that we don't have to really do anything for it. If this came in with an SSD, we could remove the SSD and then handle that later, or we could test it with the SSD. If it's already been erased, happy days. If it hasn't been erased, then we have to go through the process and erase this and do all those things. So yeah, that's actually a quick win, nice quick win, but they're not all this simple. So I'm going to be tracking these on a new process in terms of, usually I don't really track them in quantity because usually we just sell them as a wholesale lot. But the beauty of this is now I can either sell this on eBay or I can sell it to a wholesale. I don't have to worry about it. Whereas, if it did have, someone's account on it, cloud locked and things like that, that makes it a bit of a different conversation and probably can't sell it. So this is a good win, so it means I can either sell this to one of my wholesale partners as a sale, opposed to sending it to them to fix it or anything, or I could keep it, get an SSD myself, and see if I can uplift it and sell it myself and blah-da-da-da. So we've got options. We have options. I do want to learn all that process because it means that we're probably only going to sell this for $60 or maybe $30 even if it's wholesale. But if I was to get an SSD myself, fix it, it might be $150, $200 machine. So for very little effort, ASP can pretty much triple if it's working and doesn't need repairs and diagnostics all turn out fine. So like I said, options. All right, small little update. Got the screen over here now, using my laptop to just do some analysis on this and getting down the information that's required, such as the serials and things like that. So far, all of these have not had hard drives, so it makes my life very easy. This one probably won't either because it's an older model, so might just get lucky. This one is pretty old though, so it's an A1286. This is a MacBook Pro. However, it's got a really nice screen. Could not get it to turn on though, so. Alright, so those 4 Macs have been done. ASP on these is probably going to be around the $60 mark. It's taken just under an hour, and yeah, so if we can get 60 plus posts for each of those, but let's just say we get 60 for the 4, it's about 240 bucks, so not too bad. And the good thing was that last one didn't have the hard drive either. So basically I've gone through with the serials. One thing that we did find that one of them did not power on, so that means it might not go as high, but the screens on these as resell usually go pretty well. So regardless, I think we've got good opportunity here. All right, team, now that that's done, I need to charge my phone because it's almost dead from all the filming and taking photos today. So I'm going to go put the phone on charge and I'm going to go do a couple more items of postage that have come through, and then hopefully that gives us enough charge and we might test a few other little processes. I've still got a whole bunch of stuff in here, so let's do it. All right, team, we've got another 6 items going out. We've got a Wrangler jacket that was $60. We've got a Patagonia puffer that's gone for $116. We've got a Forever New cardigan that we listed yesterday, or this morning actually, and so photographer photoed it Monday, I listed it yesterday and it sold today, so very good. And then a few other stuff. So we're selling a lot in the 19,000, in the 21,000, 22,000 SKUs, which is all stuff we've done since November. So I'm happy with that. All 90-day period stuff. I'm finding stuff that's older than 90 days, very hard to get visibility on it. And I think that's because they've changed the way that things are being found in the algorithm, but we won't get into that. All right, next thing we're going to try is we've got a couple of iPads. I just got to get them charged up. It looks like this one's actually already on. This one needs a charge. This one's booting. And this one looks like iPad is unavailable. So a few different triages on these ones. We'll probably test this one first. I'll just give them a little bit to charge and we'll go through a test process on those. We've got a few other things in here. We've got some phones. Actually a whole bunch of phones. Cool. And then, I mean, there's stacks in here as well. But because I've had to change my processes, I kind of put everything away until I had figured it all out. And now we can get back to it. All right, I've just listed those Macs while I've got those iPads charging, and I'm about to go back and do some more there. I had the confirmation that the e-waste is coming through at 4:30, so woo woo. It's happy days, folks. It's happy days. We've got 1.5 pallets really. So we've got this one here, and then we've got this one here. So we're chockers, and then we got another bin. So happy with this. So tomorrow we're going shopping and seeing what we've got in here. Looks like there's a few screens. We've even got like a big screen. Geez, hopefully there's some good stuff in here. So it's been a while and really keen for this to be able to test test out some of our new processes. So that's really what I'm looking at. Looks like there's a lot of boxes. So a lot of this stuff, just to be clear, comes through, we have contracts, well, when I say we, the person I have a contract with have contracts with councils, they have contracts with storage units, and a few other little places as well. So this is good. Should be some fun in here. I've got to go, but I'm going to have a quick little sneak peek, but I'm going to leave it there, folks. We'll be at this one tomorrow. Any questions, do let me know, and yeah, let's get it. And just like that, it was, what is today? Today's Thursday. Geez, the week's gone quick. All right, it is 7:06. Just getting in. I'm just going to get some phones on charge and get that all ready for the team. We have Dion back today, and his goal will be just doing postage and doing photos, really. And my number one priority today will be doing e-waste. We'll get that all sorted and covered by, hopefully that will wrap up in the next hour and a half or so. We've got washing coming in, we've got washing not coming. We have washing going out. That will be getting picked up probably between 9 and 9:30. So 7 o'clock, if I can get all this done before then that's gonna obviously be a good little win for me. I'm gonna get straight into that in a second. I am probably gonna try and film a little bit of it too, for the shorts and for the socials, just to keep that content flowing. If you've got ideas or things that you want to see that are less than 1 minute, just little whatever they may be, let me know and I'll see if I can bring that content to life. I'm going to be trying to do this on a daily basis, including the weekends. So sometimes I have to jump ahead as well, obviously plan ahead. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm just going to get myself set up. Sales have still been a bit low. However, the good news is we did sell one of those laptops yesterday for $112 plus postage. So that sold overnight. So it was definitely worth doing those Macs yesterday afternoon. So let me get set up and then we'll get into it, folks. All right, let's get into this e-waste. Now, if you're new here, joining for the first time in 2026, we have a contract that we work with an e-waste provider or logistics company essentially, which their goal is to avoid stuff going into landfill. And I go through, sort through things to see if there's stuff that we can potentially resell, recycle, reuse, opposed to just, you know, have it go through and have to pay to have it processed. And it's everything between wires to phones to laptops to lots of really random stuff. I have to weigh everything. I have to then log everything, and then stuff that we can't sell or just isn't worth it or doesn't make sense, it gets sent back and continues down the supply chain. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start to weigh everything. This will probably take an hour and a half. It's probably about 400 kilos. Could be a bit less, but keen to get this happening. It is stuffy in here, so I've opened up the front door just to get some airflow because it gets hot. So let's get into it, and I'll show you at the aftermath what we get, and hopefully there's some goodies. Well, that's a nice win. All right, team, Dion's back today, and he's pulled out the crazy amounts of postage we have today. We've got 11 items, so we've got this Mac. This went for about 112 plus postage, which nice little quick win. In here we've got t-shirts, we've got I think a dress, we've got a cami top, we've got some jeans. It's all kind of random at this point, but a lot of this stuff has been listed less than 30 days. There's probably a couple in there which are a year old, but yeah, there's some, like we've been selling a lot of our stuff from this row, which is from 20,000 up to 22,000, which really has only been listed for probably since November-ish. So I am finding that anything that's older than 90 days just naturally has started to get harder to sell from an eBay perspective, because obviously we've got all of this, but we're probably selling every 10, maybe three from this row. So it's interesting in that sense. So it's about 30% harder to sell, or maybe is it 60% harder to sell them? Anyway, my point is, I have noticed that probably since November last year, maybe even October, it was pretty hard to, yeah, anyway, it is what it is. All right, I'm getting back to the e-waste. Dion's doing the postage, and then it's really just a day of rinse and repeat. The washing will be getting picked up in the next 30 minutes or so. Yeah. All right, team, we have finished the e-waste a little bit longer than expected. It's now 10:19. We did actually come out with a pretty good solid run. There's still a couple of like things over here that I haven't touched, which is like the TVs and stuff, but I'll do that all later. They're not really quick wins, but we've got a little bit of hi-fi, a whole bunch of calculators. Sorry, not hi-fi. We've got a whole bunch of calculators and just some modems and stuff. Nothing crazy in here. Here we've got another Blu-ray player. We do have a bit of hi-fi tech in there, which obviously got to test it all. A couple of video game consoles, PS3, little Super Nintendo, the modern one, and a Wii, and some remotes in here. This is all iPads, iPhones, and a couple of other little Apple stuff as well. That's where the main money is. A whole bunch of cameras. This will probably be sold off to my camera guy. We've got a whole bunch of non-Apple phones. This is like Samsung, Google Pixel. We've got a little bit of Nokia and a few other little bits and bobs. And then we've got a whole bunch of Macs. We've got a whole bunch of other laptops, and then we've got a whole bunch of chargers. So quite happy with all this. Weight wise, I haven't done the total. I just need to finalize that. I'll let you know a little bit later, but pretty happy with this. Now we do have to go through quite an intensive process of testing all of this, triaging all of this, making sure, you know, people's data ain't on it and things like that. So basically we go through, if it can be wiped, if it can be done securely, then it's good to go. If it can't, well then it can't be sold, and it just goes back through the process. So good thing about the cameras is they're quick wins, so is the video game stuff. And so a lot of these laptops are usually pretty good, because a lot of the time, especially some of the older ones, you can remove the hard drives and then that can be, you know, done appropriately, and then we can sell the rest as parts and things like that. So that works out pretty well. A few random things in this lot that we'll test out, might not be worth it, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty cool to see some video game stuff. Yeah. All right, geez, it's hot. So all of this was 125 kilos worth, about, give or take. I think it's 0.8 or something. So my next goal, well, that's all now packed up, so that's all good. This I'm gonna have to deal with later. Like, I mean, we're not keeping these, but that's gotta, yeah, be moved out. So we did get a whole bunch of wire as well. So that's all cut, which is good. Makes my life easier. The next thing that I got to do is I'll probably just shuffle this back a little bit, make some space. We've got to do these media bins, but this won't probably kick off till, I don't think we'll do it till next week, to be honest. pity that these green tapes aren't sealed, because they were worth a fair bit back in the day. That's sealed, probably not worth anything though. Hopefully we'll find some video games in here again. Hopefully. Last few times haven't been too bad. That's a little bit of Pokemon. Not too bad. We'll see. So we'll probably start this next week. So I'm going to do a little bit of a shuffle. And tomorrow I really need to do a cardboard run. I might even do it today. We'll see. But really the next thing I'm going to do is start doing some of the tech. Just get it over here, testing it, trying it all out, and testing out the new processes. Alright team, so we're getting right into the testing right now. While they're charging, I'm going to do these. We've made up some things which have failed to pass for testing, meaning you can't validate if they're working, can't validate if they're locked, can't validate if there's people's data on it. So they go into this one, and then we have to make the decision of, can we depart anything, or do they just go back through the process? And then this one is basically they pass all of this, and they're even worth spending time to test, and then they will either be sold as working or sold as parts only. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on these today. Hopefully there's some wins in this one. Hopefully. All right team, a little bit behind schedule here. Just been on a call with one of my suppliers for the last 46 minutes, which I always love chatting with them because they're an adjacent business to us, obviously in the business of clothing, and they've got their own set of problems and goals and dreams, and so do we, of course. So we always chat and catch up and talk about things we're trying to solve and do, and you know, when am I buying more and things like that. So really good chat, really enjoy those. So yeah, we've just been chatting for the last 46 minutes talking about, you know, perfect world scenarios, ideal scenarios, when can I buy more, what does that look like, the landscape change, what they're bringing onto the table, opportunities coming up, all that kind of stuff, which is, this stuff gets me excited. But you know, we were talking, well, next time we chat, hopefully things are in a better position. So you know, I've got some big ambitions this year, and really it just comes down to let the time pass, just keep doing the actionable steps, be repetitive, and just go. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do some listings now, and yeah, then we'll get cracking back to it. Listings done. We did a total of 68 today, but I'm going to go do some e-waste now, so we'll probably get hopefully 75. All right, we're just here doing a whole lot of triage and stuff. So we've actually gone through a lot of I've actually got to check those ones, but we've gone through a lot of the phones. Looks like at the moment we've got about 13 devices that I think are going to be okay. This is not including laptops, so that we're able to move forward with. There might be a couple more there over there. So 13, I think the ASP on these will be about 100. So we are sitting at about $1,300. One thing to take into account, these are all the ones which we need to do the next steps of data management on them. So going through a series of steps to see if we can erase them. If we can't erase them, they cannot be sold. So we will essentially just put them back into e-waste. We've got some pretty good phones here. We did have a Samsung, where is it? Oh yeah, this one. Look at this beauty. It is a little bit damaged, but I think we should be able to get, yeah, hopefully about 150 for that one. So I'm just going through a bunch of those. Dion's now finished. He's gone for the day. He finished at around 3 o'clock. We've just been doing a little bit of spitballing around, just some planning. I mean, there's a lot on my mind, and at the moment it's really, we just got to keep hustling down and getting the job done. I have offered to both my 2 photographers, so Dion and the other one, if they need any more work, they're more than welcome to. I'm trying to not give an uptick to anyone else at this point, because I need people that can work, like, you know, basically 5 days a week at this point, because having people in just for, you know, 3 hours or 4 hours, it's not really getting us the momentum we need. Plus I need to be saving as much money as possible because sales have been down. So just managing that, and I think after 30 days from today we should be back in a better position to see all that coming to where it needs to be. But you know, there's that, and so we're just talking about, you know, what are some of our options, what can we do to do things better, and really that's an open dialogue with the team, because I haven't got it all figured out and they're the one doing the work. Worst case, it might mean I need to get back on the clothing when we're not doing as much e-waste, but at the moment, while I've got e-waste, that is my priority, to get this stuff sorted because it is a high ASP and it usually turns over within 48 hours. So I'm doing that. I need to reach out to my camera guys as well, see if they're wanting any of this. Yeah, and get back to it. So I'll be here till about 4:30, so I've got about an hour left. Just keep triaging this and seeing what we can get done. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just the simple stuff today, folks. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how things are going at the moment in terms of what's working and what's not. Oh, actually, I just got to turn one phone off. So we've had a pretty good hit rate. Like, all things considered, there's probably about, I mean, I haven't even gotten into these devices over here yet, but these are kind of like low-end devices, so I'm not prioritizing them. I've gone through the heavy hitters. There's probably about 30 items, and at the moment we're at about a 50% hit rate in terms of volume. So we're sitting at about 15 now. One Mac is good. I've just processed that Mac, and we've still got all these Macs to do here. So all things considered, it's actually gone pretty good with the change of process, but I'm happy with it. A little bit more time, but learning more, and it's probably going to mean in the long run we're going to have a better knowledge base and hopefully be able to do this very quick on a more regular basis. So happy with that. I'm going to get this packed up and I'm going to quickly list that Mac that I've just done, and then it'll be nearly time to go. So yeah, not too bad, all things considered. All right, team, that is a wrap for me today. Hasn't been one of the most successful days in terms of where I want to be in terms of progress, but it's still a successful day because we got some wins. We've made progress in other areas which, haven't really expected. But, at the moment, I mean, look, I got my listings done. We did over 70, so that's good. We just haven't been able to photo over 70 items today, and that's because this lot that Dion's been doing requires quite a lot of like just pilling management and cleaning. So one of those days, but I've got both photographers in tomorrow, so we should get about 100 items tomorrow at least, and I'll be smashing through those e-waste items. However, I do need to go out and do a few other things tomorrow, so it is what it is, but this is the nature of the business. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go post. I've got to go pick up Carla, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow. Ciao! Just like that, folks, it's Friday, and it means it's the end of the week. It's going to be a great day. I'm excited because lots of things happening today. Unfortunately, no Carla today. She's going to head into the city for work, so you'll probably get to see her next week when she works from the warehouse. But today we have my laptop guy coming to see what options he's got to purchase stuff. I've got my camera guy coming today. Looks like I've sold all of these cameras, hopefully for $500-600. So that's a good win. And we've got the laptop that I did yesterday, the one that we was doing yesterday. That sold for $99. They haven't paid yet, but it is one of my regular customers, so I have no doubt that that's going to happen. So we're getting a good little boost from all of that, and yeah, I think things are going to be okay in that sense. Now, I'm going to quickly just get things on charge, get this ready for the team. I've got Dion in today, and then I've got my other photographer in there. They're coming around midday. I do need to nick out at some stage today. I've got a pickup that we're going to do for one of our furniture pieces, which were on back order. That's now come through, so I'm going to get that today. And yeah, other than that, it's just go here in the woods. I've got to do a couple of little videos for short form content. We've got to put this into bags today. I'll probably get one of the team doing that, or maybe I'll just do that actually, keep them on the photos. Exciting little update on a few other things. So hopefully it's all kind of, I mean, you always shouldn't probably say things too early, but hopefully going to be connecting up with a new opportunity of some more local, collection stuff. That's in the works. Don't know how good it is, but that's a new service that's starting up in my local area actually. And I kind of just jumped on it and said, hey, you want me to, get involved or whatever? Because we already do a lot of this already. So a little bit in the works on that one. I'll keep you updated, but I'm just excited to share that because, hey, it's a nice win, and you got to take the wins. So All right, so I'm gonna just get set up. I've got some breakfast. I've already done 28 listings. My other priority today is just do photos of e-waste stuff and continue to triage it. And we're also gonna be kicking off some new processes with some storage and things like that. Basically seeing if we can sell excess storage and things like that. So a whole bunch of things. I'll talk about that later. I'm gonna have some breakfast and get set up and get into it, folks. All right, just quickly filmed some short content that is now gone live, and I've done a couple extras for the weekend as well. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get ready for when my laptop guy's coming. He's gonna be here at 9 o'clock. In the interim, I'll probably actually do a little bit more of some of the stuff here as well, just continuing on with this process. Really just want to get on top of it. I should also probably try and get onto some of these video games. So this will go to my video game guy. That one I'm probably just going to sell. This one, I might just sell it to him as well. So yeah, not too bad. I'm pretty happy with this. Not too bad at all. It's a good morning. It's going to be a good day, I think. And there was something else I have to do. Yeah, just prepping a couple other things. So anyway, stop yapping, Chris, and let's do some work. All right, Tim, we're already into the thick of it. Just having a little bit of fun here, just doing this is the beauty of this, having to do new things. You have to learn new things, and to be able to do new things, you learn new things, and then you're able to apply that knowledge going forward, and it compounds and it stacks. So at the moment, I'm just removing this logic board. So this device in itself was unable to be sold with the logic board simply because it's got the onboard SSD, which has all the, obviously the customer's personal information. So the quickest way for this is to responsibly remove the logic board, and that will go for destruction because it's got people's information on it and there's no way for me to actually delete it. And I can sell everything else for parts, and it can be leveraged and used. So we won't get as much. We'll probably get maybe 30 to 50 bucks for this one, but I figured it's well worth it just to quickly pull it out. And now that I know how to do it, it's going to be a very simple job. So yeah, just learning how to do it, and happy days. All right, on to the next one. All right, team, it is now 10:30. Had my laptop guy here. He did spend $310, which is great. Happy with that. I'm now here just doing the next laptop. Trying to get through these ASAP, just processing. I've got another customer coming at 1 o'clock. After that, I've got to run some errands. So really just knuckle down, get this done until then. Testing out these different things, and happy days. So let's do it. All right, team, slight little change of plans. Good change of plans, actually. My other photographer rocked up a couple of hours early, so that's always good. But that meant I'm just going to go now and pick up this piece of furniture I've got to get for our furniture set. It's only about 15-20 minutes down the road, and I get that done before my camera guy comes at 1 o'clock. So figured I'll just nick it out, get it done now, get back before lunch, and happy days. But while I've got you, we can have a bit of a check-in, how things are going. Question for you is, how are things going for you guys? Like, whether you're thrifting, whether you're reselling, whether you're on eBay, whether you're doing a business, whether you're just not doing any of that and you're just here for the journey. How's the start of 2026 going for you? I'd love to know. Jump into the comments and let me know. Do you have any plans? Do you have any goals? Do you have anything that you're working towards this year that you want to see happen, make happen? All this stuff. I love hearing this stuff, right? So I would love to know. One thing that I've look, I haven't really been following much because I've been away, but I haven't really seen much happening from many people in a reselling space. I have found in the last, probably the last 4 or 5 months since we were coming to the end of 2025, I did notice a bit of a drop off of other resellers. I've been seeing a lot of liquidations. I've been seeing a lot of people, not giving up, like closing up or moving a different direction and things like that. And you hear things, you read things, you see things. Now, obviously that's just, whether it's speculation, whether it's rumor, or some of it is true, based on, obviously, if people are posting it on Facebook, it's true. But I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're following and you're a reseller, or you sell on eBay, or you sell clothing, or however you want to position it, be it full-time, part-time, whatever, I'd love to know, how's things going for you? I'm still noticing there is a bit of a a lull with eBay at the moment, but you know, we're going to be working extra hard to make that happen. And I don't want to be here as a negative space, and I always look at the positives and, you know, what is working, what's not working. And you know, at the end of last year, it was pretty scary seeing, you know, the dip in sales, and obviously that's a bit of a struggle when you've got staff and you're paying for them. And you know, I've never said that I'm here to tell people how to build a reselling business, or I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm obviously just documenting my journey, and that looks very different to other people. But you know, obviously I'm trying to build a business that I can scale and take it to that next level and do some pretty cool stuff, which obviously costs me money because it requires staff, because I don't want to have to do it all and all that, and that's scary. So right now my my priority is not profit by all means, because I'm trying to make sure I'm covering cash flow and all that. Now my rent increases by 4% in February, so that's really my objective at this point. But with all the angst and the changes and challenges, I've really seen that dip come from, you know, the last few months before we finished up for 2025, and noticing there's a lot of people getting out of it, or in that changing landscape. But anyway, long story short is I want to ask you straight from your mouth of, you know, what's your vibe check? How are you doing? What are your struggles and challenges that you're seeing? For me, you know, my challenge isn't a stock issue. My challenge is a cost issue and a sell-through issue. Not on the sense that the stuff we're buying isn't good. It's just I've noticed the challenges. We're just working harder to sell the items. And whether that's because I'm finding that my competitors are offering the same stuff cheaper, or they have more offerings. I mean, when I think of competitors, and I mean this in the most respectful way, I think of people that are either selling at the same capacity of me or more. People that are selling at a smaller capacity than me, I'm not necessarily too worried by. But you know, I've got other people that are listing more than me on a daily basis, selling the same stuff, and you know, maybe they're selling the majority of the same stuff. So that's really who I'm competing with. And you know, that's I'm finding they're probably the main challenges. But I have been hearing from them as well, like we chat, that, you know, stuff that's older than 90 days is getting harder to sell on a regular basis, without, you know, putting a lot of heavy promotion. And that's obviously because eBay's pushing their advertisement and things like that, you know, to put higher promotions. So very, very interesting. You know, at the end of last year, we had that blow where we had some changes with the ewaste stuff, and they required us to change processes and be able to, you know, they want to set reporting, which again, none of that is a bad thing. It's just requires more work and requires a little bit more structure, because you probably can't be as loose with it. And again, all good things in the long run. And I'm excited now that I've got it figured out and I have a plan forward. You know, I'm really motivated by it, and I'm excited and learning lots, and I'm going to make it work because I don't have any other choice either, right? So that's all happening. And you know, from today, I mean, I've just left and I've got one of the MacBooks reinstalling Mac OS, and in the past, usually I would just sell it as parts untested, but now I'm doing that little bit of extra triage. We're going to run diagnostics on it, and you know, we should be able to get that $100, $150, no questions asked, opposed to maybe getting $60 on it, right? So yeah, a little bit more work, but up front, the little bit of work doesn't take, you know, it's what, an extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes of learning, and in the long run, that will just become a seamless experience. So my challenge to you and with all this is, like, you know, if you are struggling or you're feeling some pressures or some challenges, be willing to learn new things, be willing to give things a go, be willing to, you know, not just keep doing the same stuff you've always done. Be willing to learn and stack and level yourself up, because, you know, that gives you the ability to do more, right? And that's what I want to be able to do. So I had my computer guy here with me. He set me up with a little mini PC, and we're going to be doing a few other little things for whether it's testing and stuff like that. And I'm excited to be able to do that, because it's going to potentially bring in some new revenue opportunities, even if it brings in an extra $200, $300 a month, right? You start to add that up over the entirety of the year, it adds a nice amount, right? It's all cash flow, it all helps. And that 4%, you know, on the rent that I pay is going to, you know, need to be covered somehow, and that hopefully will cover it. So that's where I'm at. I've got to go pick this up now. I'm about to arrive. I will be back very soon. All right, team, back at it. It's now 1:30. Just had the camera guy here. He spent $400, so that was good. He didn't take everything quite, but there was a couple there which he just wasn't sure on, which is it's all good. So I'm just now back to getting this reformatted and going to start on these ones and see if we can get them listed and hopefully get them sold over the weekend. All right, team, good news story is that Mac that we were testing that whole new process this morning on removing the logic board, listed it and it sold instantly. I had it listed at 160 with best offer of 100. Someone paid $100, paid straight away, so happy with that. So it was worth doing, but now I know how to do it going forward. So good little test run. Probably could have got a little bit more for it, but they paid 99 plus $19 postage, so it's about 120 bucks. Yeah, happy with that. And now to be able to do this work in the future will probably take 12 minutes around there somewhere. So I think it's really worth it. I'm gonna get this packed up and posted. Dion's already gone. It's now 3:20. All right, team, it is now 4:30 and everyone's gone. We've finished putting the 10 bags of washing. We've got a few extras over here. Almost fit all the pants in, a few more here. And then next up we've got going out is a whole bunch of North Face, but that will go out probably next week, Thursday. So just getting that ready. Team's done pretty good today. Dion was doing vintage light jackets. Whole good bunch of stuff in this one. As you can see, all of this is just pretty basic stuff, but it's always a bit of fun. We've got Nike, Adidas, just a bit of everything really. Oh, even some NAF in there. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And other photographers been doing a lot of just pants in this lot. So obviously we'll be back at it on Monday. Look, I'll talk about in a bit of a recap about how we did with electronics today. Other than that, it's really pretty much it. So I'm just going to finish up a couple of things, some admin, then we're going to do a quick recap, and then I'll talk about some of the dollars, financials, where things are at. A bit of a not in a good position, only because we haven't been operating at full month yet, so we are playing catch up. But today's been pretty good. Like we're sitting on about 1,300 for the day, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, let me just pack up a few things and then we'll do a recap for the week. All right, team. Week 1 of 2026. Well, it's not week 1 for everyone. It's week 1 for me. Done and dusted. It's I can't believe here we are already. Lots on my mind. Look, all things considered, the week's been pretty floppy, but that's expected because, you know, we haven't been at full cap. We haven't been listing for the last 2 weeks. I mean, we were doing a few here and there, but not at the full capacity. But this week, you know, we have really done as much work as possible to get things, you know, in flow. Just to give you a perspective, this week, I'm just going to get this data up so I can share with you. And I've got it. I'm tracking a few different things this year just to keep myself accountable to a few things. But this week, because we got back on Sunday, but basically let's go from Monday. So we've listed a total of 291 items this week. Obviously there's still tomorrow and there's still Sunday. So hopefully we should get to probably about 400 listings for the week, which is not too bad, but not where I really want to be. That's only about 57 per day. So we're just playing catch up with a couple of things. And because we haven't had the team in full force this week, so that makes sense because Dion had 2 days off. But hopefully we can get that starting to be where it needs to be from next week. Now this week we have been averaging about $916 per day. Today we've done $1,400. That includes wholesale as well. But really needs to be $1,400 days. So, you know, we've got a lot to go. The average for January so far at the moment is 700. Whereas previously last month it was a lot higher than that. So we're way behind where I need to be. This week we're only sitting on 4,500. We should get to 6. I think 6.5 maybe. Yeah, not where we want to be, but needs to be up higher. But you know, we'll charge on. We'll get it done. So we've got a lot of catch up to be doing. This month we're sitting on 11,300 already. Good thing is net profit at the moment is sitting at 7,500, but we haven't had to pay any expenses. We haven't had to pay rent or anything like that yet. So by the time I've paid rent and by the time I pay the staff this week, we're probably sitting at about 1K profit.
But that's not too bad, you know, considering that we're down. ASP is sitting at $47 for this month so far. It's early days, but look, we'll see where we can go. Look, at this point, the next, basically January is getting us back into flow. Really just working on trying to get as much stuff listed as possible and getting that jump started back into the store. Obviously, I've been spending a lot of time upskilling with the whole new processes around the e-waste stuff. Fortunately, we had some of the, you know, wholesale stuff today, but, you know, with those laptops like that one pink laptop that we did this morning, usually I would sell that for $25, $30 wholesale. Because I've taken on the initiative to figure out how to do it myself, remove the things that we can't sell it with, and, you know, have that go for destruction, like the stuff that we can't sell, the data stuff. You know, I've been able to figure it out, followed some YouTube tutorials. It now probably take 12, 15 minutes going forward, and we've sold it for basically, you know, 99 plus $19 postage, so 120 bucks. I basically 3x, 4x my money. 3x after 3x after postage and fees. So that is really good. Now it's a matter of getting more of them. I've also listed a couple of phones at an ASP of about 99 or 105, which again, usually it's about 100. Usually for the phones of the ASPs in a bundled lot individually, they work out to be about 20, 25 a piece. So took a lot more time, but now I've got some process in place. I've got some guides. I know how to do it. You know, it's just a matter of now let's get more. I'll spend a bit more time doing that on Monday as well. But yeah, really the team for the goal for the team is just photo, get John listing. And yeah, that's all we can really do. Hopefully kicking off a couple more things to help us grow in the next coming weeks. As I said, there is an opportunity maybe to be doing some more partnering with another mob that do collections of stuff. That might take a little bit of time, and, you know, like it's always with these things, you know, there's always plans and there's people saying they're doing this in the new year and all that jazz. But, you know, until it happens, you can't really bet on it. So look, we'll give it some time and see. But once I've got more information, more than happy to share that. As I have said, I do have some stuff for wholesale. We do have a bunch of jackets that I'm happy to sell. That's if you're a reseller. If there's stuff that maybe you're watching this video and you're not a, you're not a reseller, but you are looking, you know, just for some product, and you see something that I talk about or you're curious about, and you're happy to pay, you know, obviously stuff that it's worth, I can give you a discount. I'm more than happy to do so. At the moment, I just need to keep things moving, turnover, cash flow. But, you know, first week, all things considered, you know, not being fully top weather in terms of I haven't been, you know, in full health. We haven't had the team fully in full action this week either. All things considered, can't really complain. We've got the e-waste, we've got all these different things. We're getting back into full service. So I'm pretty happy with how things have gone. Give me 4 weeks and then I'll be able to tell you how I'm really feeling. But yeah, in terms of goals and stuff, I'll probably start to share a little bit more of that next week as we flesh into it. But, you know, if you've joined for the first time, I'm here documenting this journey, right? At the end of the day, I just want to build something that I'm proud of, and I am proud of this. And I'm going to continue to share the decisions I'm making, the challenges I meet, the problems I'm trying to solve, and, you know, what that looks like. If that's your cup of tea, there's going to be heaps of this going forward. But if you're here and expecting, you know, me to give you guides and things like that, I'm not really focused on that, but I am trying to provide as much value. If I can help you understand better why I do something, my thought patterns, my approaches, what it means for me long-term, my strategy behind things, I'd like to share that because it might give you some better understanding of the decisions I'm making, and maybe you can leverage it for your own business. But yeah, but again, if you've got questions and things that you want to know, let me know, and I'll do my best to get you an answer. I'm tired. Yeah, if there's things that you want to know and I can help you and I can share that, I will do my best to get you those answers. All right, just getting another, look at this, getting an offer for one of the iPhones, $100, not too bad. I'm probably going to accept that. I've got it listed for 100 and I think I've got it listed for 160. and they've sent, no, I've got it listed for 145. They're sending me an offer of $100. You know, it's broken, but it's working. I'm selling it as parts only, not working. So usually this would go for $25 as well, and I'm getting $10 once I get postage with it. So I will take that. Happy days. The process is working. The process is working. All right, Tim, I'm going to get out of here. Happy to see that go through. Of course, they've got to pay, but good things are coming, right? You know, with big challenges, new problems, all it means is once you solve those problems, you have bigger and better opportunities and better outcomes. That is the journey I'm on, and we'll continue to do that. We pivot, we adjust, we figure it out. It's my small business, my business. I'm going to do everything in my power to see it succeed, to thrive, to grow, and to go to the levels to where I want it. And you should do that for yours, right? If you've got ambitions, if you've got goals, if you've got things that you want to see happen, get out there and make it happen. Also, I've been doing the daily short content. Let me know if you've got any feedback on that, if there's things you want to see, what you're enjoying, what you're not. Let me know, and I'll be doing that on a regular basis as well. Appreciate you all. I'll be back here again next week, and we should have a bit more content like Get Wired, Further Your Lifestyle podcast. Might even have a sourcing video coming soon. Anyway, ciao!